updates on JQ?
Yeah, we'll know a lot more tomorrow. It's a little premature to comment on it. We're just dotting our I's, crossing our T's, and we'll give you more information tomorrow.
What's it been like, Coach? Just a long run of just bad luck, injuries, and these contact issues. Has that been as bad as you've experienced in your tenure?
Yeah, definitely. I would say definitely. The entirety of it has been a lot. Proud of the group though. The way again on the road, tough environment. We had lost a number of games. Very easy to mail it in and just show up and play the string out. But to the credit of the group, they were very committed to play well in that game, and they guarded as good as we've played defense in probably a month or so since maybe at Colorado. So it was exciting to see that they're still battling, and guys are getting better. There's Mir Ali has taken some good steps and made strides the last few weeks. Sean Phillips had another really good game for us, and excited to see how he's been, and he's been a better leader. He's controlled himself and his emotions far better, so he's really making great progress.
You mentioned the strides that have been made in terms of making the most of his playing time. How has he been able to fit more in terms of the flow of the offense that has led to his individual success?
I would say it started in Stillwater, just with Adam and BJ being out of the lineup, and I think he seized the moment. He might have had a couple of other times where we had sickness or someone hurt where he maybe could have done it then, but he really took advantage of it in that game, had a double-double, rebounded. I think he's starting to see that there's a lot more to his game than just making shots, and he certainly came in with that reputation, but he's playing better defense and he's rebounding for us, so those are real positives. It's nice to see a freshman not hit a wall and go backwards and get worse, but to see a guy, developing and getting better as the season goes.
Coach, to piggyback off what you're talking about, obviously the team, you're going through a losing streak and many scored any level is always tough, but the fact that they were, fighting in a lot of games, how do you feel that the leadership of the team kind of helped keep everybody's heads in the game and just keep battling?
I would say at the top of the list is Austin Mason. He's rock solid. He doesn't get too high or too low, which I think works very well with this group, because I could kind of rely on his demeanor, and even in a game where he didn't have a lot of points, he didn't care. He had 8 assists and ran the team well and played good defense, and never cared that he didn't score 20 points or something. So that's the mark of someone that's invested in winning and is a good leader at the point guard spot.
How worried are you about the lack of personnel here? Obviously with BJ gone and JQ at least probably being gone for at least a game, like you're really limited.
Well, I mean, it's not ideal, that's for sure. It was certainly lesson learned. This gets back to roster construction and having enough guys that we're not in this situation, but there was certainly a lot of external things that have happened. But we had a good practice today, and the guys hopefully will be excited about the opportunity that we haven't been able to win and close out these games at DFA. So I think that's an important thing, that we figure out how to win a game here. Yeah, it's not only the financial. James has been given his time and his willingness, to be around the players. He could be in his off season, on an island somewhere, or just working on his game in LA, or but he carves out time every year to come back and see the new team, to be around the guys, share his experiences with them, and if there's a game that corresponds with where he is and he could be there, he's going to be there, and he did that last year, obviously. So it's more of than a financial, but like an investment in trying to help young men, and he's such a role model to our guys. So it really, you know, hits right between the eyes when he gives his time the way he does. But it's certainly meaningful that you know, he's willing to help the program in all capacities, and not going to get into exactly the numbers of what he did, but that's up for, you know, him to discuss. But we appreciate him, you know, in the best possible way.
Coach, there wasn't that happened over the weekend with you guys getting the win for the first time in a long time. How has the energy shift kind of been over the last couple of days of practice, and what you've seen or felt with the guys or talking to
I would say the biggest thing was we were, again, in a cycle of playing like every 3 days for a while, and we never like caught a break of multiple days where we could rest the guys a little bit after the Houston game, because everybody needed to go in the ice bath, you know, when you play a team like Houston. It's so, you know, once you had a couple of days to get them physically back, we actually had real practices and, you know, got back to, you know, talking about the defensive end. We shared stats about just where we stand when we hold teams to certain point totals and where we stand when we don't. So the message was like, we are what we are at this point. It's so late in the season, like, so if we could get back to doing what we were doing well on defense, that we'll have a chance to win some of these games.
How many of those ice baths are you taking?
What's that?
How many of those ice baths are you taking?
Wow, yeah. It's been a challenge, man. I'm telling you, I you know, spent a couple of hours awake last night in the middle of the night, just sorting out everything and playing different scenarios in my mind, the things that have happened this year, and it's just it's been very, you know, and I haven't really done that. Usually, when I'm done with my day and my head hits the pillow, man, my eyes don't wake up again until I'm ready to go the next day. But it was so I know that the anxiety and the stress of what we've gone through has like impacted everybody, and I'm not immune from that either.
Is it worse than the COVID year though?
In terms of, I think all the processes we had to go through made it more difficult, and you know, losing Romello White was tough, and that was kind of a sneaky part of not achieving what we could have with that group. So, but it is there are parallels that you could draw, but there's just been far more stuff happen here with regards to like to injury and things.
With the way the freshmen have played as of late, especially with Ali's growth and with Quains, who's been in the lineup playing very well, what's kind of the goal for you for the 3 freshmen for the rest of the way now that there's a chance that you continue to play them in these high stakes games?
I'm really happy again for Amir, because he had a tough, you know, go early, and his minutes weren't always consistent, and didn't really always have a chance to prove, you know, what he's doing. At the same time, now you could see that he looks like a different guy with opportunity and minutes. And Josan today in practice was, you know, really elevating well, getting off his feet, kind of. You know, it's hard to, I say this a lot, you know, with freshmen especially, to lose that much time and then like seamlessly reinsert yourself into what's happening mid-season and stuff. And so he had to go through that. Happy to see him make shots in that second half, because you could see he was like pressing a little bit, because he had open looks in the first half and wasn't able to connect. So just maybe that's kind of a breakthrough for him.
Coach, everybody's had to deal with it. You talk about the travel schedule. I mean, obviously the conference expanding into new teams this year, but do you see a path in the off season to maybe kind of get before obviously the schedules come out next season to sync? I mean, granted, there's going to be long distances, that's fine, but to sync it up to where it's not so taxing on either you guys going west to east, teams going east to west.
Yeah, I don't know the total direction of where we're heading with scheduling, and I don't think our difficulties are any worse than Central Florida. You know, I mean, there's some, like in Texas, schools might have a little bit more of an advantage on some of these road games to not have to go as far. But you know, I just think you're kind of nitpicking. I mean, the commitment was there from administration to charter a wide majority of these flights, which made the travel a lot smoother. But there's no change in the map of the United States.
BYU, BYU is coming off a very impressive victory against Arizona, and the first game in Big 12 history was against BYU. That game in the rearview mirror, playing against that team tomorrow. What were your takeaways from that game?
It was bad memories, just again, it was our first Big 12 game, and that means a lot. And it was a hard place to play, and they're a very good team, very well coached team. They excellent shooters. They're older. They got a potential lottery pick that's very unique, and then they got big guys. They got really physical front court players. So they exposed us a little bit in that game, and we did not do a good job starting the game. And then we climbed all the way back in, and we didn't do a good job to start the half. We turned it over several times. So hopefully we get something out of that and learn from it. It also started the cycle of injuries, with Joe Son going down in that game, losing him. So just a lot of bad things that I could remember from that experience.
We beat the Dream Team came out last week. What jumps out to you about revisiting that and being part of that project?
It was just like the coolest thing you could ever do if you are a basketball junkie, and I idolized Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Jordan growing up. So to go compete against those guys, it was like an out-of-body experience to do it. And never on my bingo card was beating them. Like when I showed up there, it was about like survival. Like, how can I get through the week? Can I get some of these guys to sign some trading cards for me and my brother? And they were all pretty good about that, which was great. But it was like a once in a lifetime moment if you were in that moment, and I just loved watching it and hearing what all my fellow teammates had to say, because like they all in their own way just were trying to say like, wow, this was like the greatest feeling. And I think some of them said that would have been a year that maybe they represented the United States in the Olympics and weren't able to do it. So it was a good consolation prize.
I was talking to Amir, he said that 90% of basketball is mental. How much of this game getting back on track do you think is going to be from the mental aspect of the game, and what is going to be your message to help you guys step up and BJ Gone?
Well, it's I think more of I'm glad that we played well enough on the road to get enough separation that we were not sitting in a one possession dogfight at the end to see if I think part of again learning to win or relearning how to win after what we've gone through is like getting a game where we just handle our business and get some confidence back. And then the next step will be, all right, now how do we break through some of these overtime games that we're losing, or these very close games down the stretch that a team is able to get separation on a bad turnover or an offensive rebound or missed free throws. We still have to prove that late in games we could be as together and play as cleanly as we need to win some of these close games.
He was talking about his mental strategies and kind of overcoming some of the slumps throughout the season. What were your strategies when you were there, and how have you kind of conveyed those strategies?
I just think you just can't feel sorry for yourself. You have to drag yourself off the mat every day, no matter what happens. Some things I did, I haven't been on social media since the Arizona game that night, so that's a way for me to have a clear mind and do the best job that I could do and not be clouded with other thoughts or bad things that could negatively impact how I lead the group. But it's always, I think it's up to each guy to run their own race, fight their own battle, know what their makeup is like and what they need to do to get themselves ready to play and give them the best chance to be successful. Thank you guys, appreciate it.